Another day, another attack from an unknown man. We have a bunch of news stories to get through today, so stay tuned for that. Like 4 or 5 different news stories. But the first one is from the Irish Mirror. It says, man rushed to hospital in critical condition after a late night assault in Waterford, Saturday, the 18th of October, 2025, of course. But it's unbelievable to think Waterford had an attack just recently. I did a report on Waterford stabbing only a couple of days ago. Every day it seems like Waterford, Dublin, off one of these places is getting hit with some obscene, violent crime. Crazy stuff. Gardaí have now launched a witness appeal urging anyone who may have information or footage of the incident to contact the authorities. Well, there's not going to be that. You know, we don't even have a description of the person. Like, how the hell are we supposed to know what happened, who the guy is, if there's no picture of the guy, no picture of the assailant? Like, how the hell are we supposed to know? It said a man is fighting for his life in hospital following a serious assault in County Waterford at around 11:50 on Friday. The Gardaí and emergency service responded to a report of a serious assault which occurred at the junction of Cook Street and Mill Street in Cappoquin at approximately 11:50 on Friday evening. A man in his 40s was treated at the scene before taken to an ambulance, University Hospital Waterford, for serious treatment of injuries. The man remains in hospital where his condition is described as critical. Critical is not good. That's near death. No description of the person, no nothing, just a man. A man attacked a man. A male aged 40s is in treatment. Who the hell knows what happens? Investigations ongoing. Why even report on these news stories if we don't have a description of the person? Is he a white guy? Is he a flippin' Arabic guy? Is he Chinese guy? Like, what is the guy? Like, do we have any description? Do we have a sketching of the guy? Do we have anything? Like, no reports, no CCTV. There's no way to catch these criminals if we don't put out to the mainstream news, which I suppose they're mainstream. We're the mainstream news now, but the people who think they're the mainstream news, what's the point in even reporting on these stories if there's no suspect, if there's no information on the suspect? How the hell are we supposed to catch any criminal? It just seems ludicrous stuff. So speaking of immigration, this is an Australian immigrant who talks about immigration in a proper way. These are the kind of immigrants that people want in Ireland, says Jake Fitzsimons, right? So these are the people that want to be coming to Ireland, that are hardworking, within reason. Okay, obviously the most important thing to factor in when it comes to immigration is the numbers of people. We can't have unlimited mass immigration. That would destroy the entire country. But of course, certain people working certain jobs, certain sectors, you know, you have to kind of somewhat, like I said, the numbers is the issue. We brought in 100,000 people, 400,000 people over the last number of years. Over the last 2 years, I think it was like 470,000. Just crazy numbers. They don't even know the exact number here. It's just wild stuff. If we were to bring in 3,000 people, I would reduce that down to 3,000 to 5,000 people. That's it, guys. Hardworking people that want to actually help the country, that are good in different sectors, businessmen, people like that, not just randoms from Romanian gypsy living here off the dole. Like, we don't want that. It's ridiculous.
As an Aussie who has moved to Ireland, I get asked by Irish people all the time, why did you move here from Australia when we're all leaving to Australia? And
True.
Yes, you are. Until you have children. There are so many Irish people I know who have moved back after having kids, or the ones who have stayed in Australia, who talk about how hard it is because they don't have that community and that village that they just took for granted here in Ireland. And coming from Australia, this level of community, this village that I see around me blows my mind. Fun fact, they are now calling Sydney the city without grandchildren because young parents with young children are moving out to more affordable places. They simply can't afford it, and they are just broken and crushed by having to work around the clock just to try to survive. Believe me, like, you should be so grateful for what you have in this country and hold on to it.
Shout out to Australians. Australians are great people, hardworking, dedicated people. I'll say this. This woman here thinks that the communities here are way more than Australia. That may be the case. You know, we have obviously small villages, small communities. Everybody talks to each other. They have the WhatsApp group texts, you know, all the WhatsApp groups that I'm a part of, you know, the Gardaí, checkpoint groups and that kind of stuff. But not only that, lads, like, that is dying though. That is definitely dying, you know, and I wanted to make that point. Like, the Irish communities, like, that used to be very heavy back 20 years ago. But now it definitely isn't as strong as what it used to be. It's definitely there. It's definitely strong, but definitely nowhere on the level what it used to be. But of course, Australia and these other places, the UK, anywhere in the cities, There's zero community. It's like a jungle. If you go to London, if you go to Dublin City now, it's like a goddamn jungle. You're going to these places, nobody knows their neighbors, nobody knows who they're living around. You're living in an apartment with a bunch of random people. Everybody hates each other. There's massive animosity. There's massive crime. People are robbing each other. People are trying to get ahead of you by any means necessary. There's massive individualism now in 2025, just the world, this globalist shithole that the woke liberals and these Marxists want to kind of inject into the world. There's literally a downfall of the Irish community. So hopefully people can keep and strive to hold on to that, because that's good. You know, you want to have a community of people that love you and that care for you and that will help you out in times of need. Speaking of a globalist society and tracking people, because that's what's going to happen now. We have the digital ID in the UK. They're tracking people nonstop in Ireland. Here we have the Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla announcing their new electronic tracking pill. It's a biological chip that once you take the tablet, it dissolves in your stomach and it sends a signal. Imagine the applications of that, the compliance. So these people literally want to control every aspect of your life. It's the World Economic Forum, and they're literally telling you the 2030 WEF agenda. They're telling you directly, and nobody is listening.
FDA approved the first electronic pill, if I can call it like that. It is basically a biological chip that it is in the tablet, and once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliance. The insurance companies to know that the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is fascinating what happens in this field.
They are going to regulate every aspect of your life. We're going to have CBDCs, we're going to have carbon trackers, we're going to have flipping digital IDs. We are so screwed, guys, and I'm rejecting 100% all of them, and I hope you do too. So the last interesting video I came across here is Sylvester Stallone's wife, who is big in Hollywood. You know, she's a celebrity star, same as Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, Rocky. She basically explains why in Hollywood, basically all of Hollywood's kids now identify as trans or gay or something extreme like that on the woke left. It's very odd. Let's listen.
Why do you think it is that so many kids in Hollywood now and kids of, you know, celebrity parents are transgender? Is there something in the water in Hollywood, or?
I just think Hollywood is it's all about expression. So, however you want to express yourself. So if you feel like a cat today, you're a cat. And it's so loosey-goosey. I don't think that we're really understanding that these kids are not our accessories. They're little human beings that need structure. And the structure is really important for them because it helps their brain organize everything. And I think growing up in a Hollywood home, there's really no structure because you got this thing going and you got private planes and you got all these giant homes with chefs and secretaries and assistants and, housekeepers, nannies, and there's just too much of everything. It gets really confusing for a little person. And it's okay what you decide to be as an adult, but raise them just with good common sense. I mean, my daughters were all tomboys. They prefer to wear pants than dresses, and they love sports. But I never said, oh, you're a boy now. I just said, you love to play sports. You love to hang out with boys. That's awesome,
Yeah, bring back tomboys. That's a good one. Bring back tomboys, because tomboys used to be huge. Women that were kind of masculine, went to the gym and this kind of stuff. Now it's like, oh, you're trans, you're this, you're crazy. It's just nuts. Very good theory that she had at the beginning there. She says that basically because, as a Hollywood star, you're very unorganized. You're here, you're doing that, private jets and stuff. It seems like, and this is kind of branching out to the vast, wider society. And this is why I make these videos talking on different topics. Like, it branches out to different societies. If your parents are away at work, if you don't have a good structure, a household structure, maybe you were flipping abused as a kid, maybe you're doing this, God knows what happened, then you're going to want to identify as something that's solid. Okay, I'm gay now, I'm trans now. I can really identify and solidify my identity in this. And you take hold of that and you won't let it go. And you're like fanatical about it, guys. Like all those school shooters, all the flipping shooters that shot Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump, all these guys were trans and all these different people. Just crazy. It seems to be now the sort of the new thing that's in is to be trans and, losing your mind. You're taking these antidepressant pills, you're taking SSRIs, you're just a lunatic. So It is crazy. Great theory that she has there. Because of the uncertainty of life, they want to have a structured routine. Very good point. Let me know your thoughts, guys. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member for just €3 per month. I can push back against the woke Irish government, bring you the real news stories, the real, more right-leaning news stories that nobody talks about, really. Okay, everyone's just this woke, left-wing Antifa psychos in Ireland. So hopefully we can bring back some stability to that. And I'll see you in the next one, lads. Peace.